Alright, so I believe we're live. We're just gonna wait for it to load and we're gonna get right into it actually. Just make sure it's loaded here. Alright. So it is the solstice. It is actually the 23rd, and it's the morning the right before the dawn of the third day of this 3 day period. And I'm gonna record. Okay, yeah, perfect. It's working great. So there's gonna be a bit of lag, unfortunately, but I'm just gonna do my best and plow through this because it's just gonna have to be this way. We're just gonna have to begin. We're gonna begin. What do we got here? We're just gonna have to light some of this myrrh and Palo Santo just to kind of consecrate the space. You know what? Is the audio good, or should I move the microphone a bit closer? I have no clue how this live stream is going to turn up. I know the video is a bit choppy. Unfortunately, that's the best we can do right now. But there's some Palo Santo. I love Palo Santo. It's just amazing. So what this whole meal is about is to consecrate the year, and it's actually on the third day of a 3 day period around the solstice, and eating the meal before dawn is part of the oracle that I oracled, which I'll recite here in a bit. But it's also what I do is actually have a 12 dish meal every year at this time, and that's like more of a tradition, honoring the year. And I know there are other cultures that do that too, but basically this is what I do. And there's 12 months and 12 basically guardians of each month, and 12 constellations, and 12 tribes and all that stuff. So it's very cool because it's all integral, and it's all this fractal that is part and parcel of itself really. So it's amazing once the universe comes alive with this symbology, when all this symbology comes alive. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get started right away and start by reading the oracles. So what we got here, let us just gonna move the microphone a bit closer, but I don't want it to be in the way. Let's move it away. There we go. That's a bit better. That's a bit better. That's good enough. Okay. But okay, so the oracle is about the solstice and how to commemorate it. And I'm not saying that everybody should do this, but this is what came through me and how I celebrate it. And the oracle says nothing about 12 dishes, but that's something I do. And I'm just sharing it with everybody because, hey, vegan dishes, it's something I think everybody should know about because it's really great to raise your vibration to this level. So, oracle says, and by the way, the name of this period is in the name of the oracle. The oracle calls it Zerhain. So that's what we're going to call it here. So Zerhain is the blessing and dedication of yet another cycle. Let the festival last for 3 days. the last day of the previous month, and the first 2 days of the first month, for this is the time of the winter solstice, the time of renewal and silence, marked by the sun's retreat during his weakest time. Commemorate it with the drinking of visionary teas and the select of the chosen consulting the wheel of oracle. That's something I don't really have time to get into, and I really don't have the ways to facilitate that at the moment. It's a really interesting thing to get people together and to utter divine knowledge. It's very interesting to tap into these dimensions of information. On the third day of Ashvar, which is the first month, following the last day of Zerhain, which is literally today, this morning, rejoice in Surya and eat the meal before daybreak. Let everyone proclaim love and light. It's very interesting because where I am right now, we literally got hit with like a huge snowstorm, and things are not looking very sunny, but it might be a clear morning. We will see. But we're eating it pretty early right now. This is not right before sunset because I got quite a bit of food here, and I'm probably not gonna, most likely I'm not gonna be able to get through all of it. But we have a lot of food, and the sunrise is still a ways away, but we're still gonna do this early, and if we finish early, we're still gonna celebrate the sunrise. I'm just gonna change the camera and we're gonna get started with our first dish right away. Alright, so this is a persimmon, and this is just an appetizer to get the meal started, because this doesn't really count as one of the dishes, but I'm gonna have a bit of this, a few pieces of this, just to get started and see how that is. The thing with these is you have to eat them when they're ripe. You have to eat them when they're ripe, otherwise they're extremely caustic and it can cause some really bad mouthfeel after eating it. It's actually really good. It's a really good one, and it's ripe, so you know it's sweet. It's not like burning your mouth off, which is good. Might want to watch out for seeds sometimes, but for the most part, these don't have seeds when they pick them, so you don't get seeds when you're eating them. That's the only thing about commercial fruit, is that it's picked when it's still raw, and you're not really getting ripe fruit. Some fruit is, because it doesn't ripen afterwards, but most of commercial fruit is picked raw, and it just is not as alkaline as it would be normally. Alright, we're gonna move on. But now we're gonna go to our first dish. Now, this is some potato and barley soup with cabbage stock. And it's a very, very simple soup. Hold on, is this recording or is it not? Something's not right. But I don't know. I'm gonna keep going. Hopefully this is still recording. And if not, I'm gonna re-upload it anyway. And I can edit this later on at a later date. That's not a problem. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just keep going. So this is barley and potato soup with cabbage stock, and it's a very simple soup because especially like right now we're in lockdown and it's difficult to come up with a lot of ingredients. Normally around this time, normally I love to go crazy with my recipes. I actually have another channel where I make all these recipes, and all the recipes I have here are basically on the other channel. And I go crazy with recipes, but this year I had to tone it down a bit. And one of the dishes is this, and it's very modest. It's just barley and potatoes with some cabbage stock and some other flavors, but that's basically it. But when you're on a budget, it's a good ingredients for a base without getting too complicated. Not getting into any kind of spices or seasonings and stuff. You don't need that much. Cabbage stock is good, and then just some base. This is simple. But me, this is not my typical dish, right? I hope this is working well, because what's showing up on the stream, the live stream preview, is just the first few minutes looping. But we're gonna continue. And hopefully this all works out. So. There's some bits of cabbage in here which I don't normally like. You might want to cut that up a bit better, but like I said, this is just something very simple, just to get the meal started, you know. But what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna be sampling all these dishes, and then just so that I share it all with you guys. And then after that, I'm going to end the stream and then finish up here, hopefully before the dawn. We still have time, but we'll see how it goes. I do have a lot to get through, so I'm going to keep moving. Alright, now this is a Greek salad, vegan of course, so instead of any feta cheese I used a hemp seed base, and just with olives and peppers and tomatoes, you know, I believe there's cucumber in here as well, but yeah, very simple salad and very easy. This is very easy. But one thing I love about the Greek salads, particularly, are the olives. I just love the olives, but of course you can't have too many, because I always think like, oh, I like the olives, but then there's been a couple times when I've overdone it, and you just regret it then. So I do believe that the live stream is working. Yeah, it keeps buffering, right? But you know what, guys? I'm gonna re-record this. Like, I'm recording it right now, and I'm gonna re-upload it. I'm gonna edit it and re-upload it, so it'll be a lot better. Like highlights of this, cause like it's already been. If it's buffering too much, don't torture yourself. I'll be re-uploading it anyway. But I'm just sharing these dishes with y'all, and also the idea of just that on the third day after the solstice, eat a meal before dawn. I don't know. That's what I do. And I keep it like 12 dishes because I commemorate the constellations, but this is in no means saying that anybody else should have to do this. Now this is other soup, and it's split peas with sweet potato, and I also have some garden carrots in here, but I don't know if they kind of. I pressure cook them so they get really soft, and then they get like little bits. But yeah, you can see kind of bits of carrots in here. But yeah, the split peas, and I use like paprika, and I actually have a 9 spice blend that I use to flavor this, which I've been using a lot, and I use kind of variations of it for my other recipes too. But this is, yeah, split pea soup with sweet potatoes and carrots, and it's amazing stuff. I love this stuff. This is a really good one. And all these recipes are on my other channel, where I just post my recipes. So I'll link that in the description. But hopefully this will work out. I don't know what the stream is like right now, but I am recording this, so I am going to re-upload it. This is amazing. I could just eat this, but I'm going to have to move on I'm just going to enjoy a bit more of this. All of these dishes literally correspond to each of the months. So I would like go over them, but it's not really necessary. And if you aren't familiar with the constellations, like I could say like Capricorn and stuff, but the way I see it, it's a modern syncretism between tropical and sidereal because of what's the word? Precessional shift. So because of that, the constellations have shifted in relationship to the tropical zodiac. So because of that, new months have I kind of understand it in terms of new months. That's why I'm not explaining each month, but each of these dishes correspond to a month and like a guardian of nature, I guess you could say. So this corresponds to the guardian of ice in Aquarius, but that's not really relevant. What's relevant is that these are vegan dishes. And that's the best way to start raising your vibration. One of the best ways, okay? But you gotta do what's right for you. And this really, really, really worked for me. And that's why I'm sharing it. So. I could just eat this, but I gotta move on. So this is potato salad. Potato salad with apples and, of course, lettuce and walnuts and peas and a mayonnaise sauce. This is basically like Waldorf salad. The only thing is I didn't have grapes, but it's really cool. And I love this salad with potatoes and apples. Give me some apple. And mayonnaise sauce is vegan, and it's got mustard, like ground up mustard seeds, so like authentic mustard with pepper, and that's it. But it's amazing. I did put some currants in here to simulate the idea of raisins or grapes. But the whole point of grapes was to, honestly, I like the apples way more, and I don't really like finding grapes in here. So, I guess it worked out. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, but this year, I just said, you know what? I want to share this meal with everybody, and I'm going to do it in a way that's feasible and that's practical. So I had to make do, and I think I did pretty well here, to be honest. This is a really great potato salad, and it's got walnuts and peas and, like I said, apple. I love the apple. You know what? I'm probably using the wrong utensils for this right now. That's okay. I might have to buffer. It seems it's buffering way too much, but when I rewatched the test, it seemed okay. So what I'm going to do, hopefully the audio is okay, but it doesn't seem like people are sticking around right now. I am going to re-edit this, and I am going to re-upload it. But I'm doing this just to share it with y'all. And you guys, excuse me. I have a feeling this is the way things are going to go as we move forward into the new era. We're going to start doing things more in line with nature, and the biggest part of nature is the cycle of the year, and the spring and the harvest, and the way the sun goes through the solstice and comes back again. So I think we're going to have to start living our lives in accordance with that year and not the Gregorian year. Alright, I'm going to have to move on. Now, this is some okra in some dal or lentils, which is a traditional Indian meal or dish. I normally don't cook like this. This is not normally my favorite stuff. A lot of people like Indian food. For me, it is what it is. I was raised eating Indian food, so it's nothing too special. But yeah, this is also some really good stuff though.